Oh my goodness, you have no idea. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever it is you are located. Thanks for watching. My name is dcbornrob, also known as DC Rob. I go by them all. Thank you guys for watching. I apologize for that little mishap in the beginning. I'm just going to go on a limb and assume that I am out here live right now. If anybody is watching, do me a favor and jump in right quick. Hopefully I had a few of you guys in the beginning. What happened was my camera was connected, then my camera got disconnected, then I had to start a whole new stream. So please hang in there with me. I will get it together. But thank you guys for watching.
Hey, what, gentlemen? Right now you're watching DC Born Rob on YouTube.
Okay, yeah. Ask me, am I a fan of this app? Or do I understand it fully? And I would tell you,
No, not a chance. No, not at all. No, none of us not agrees. A chance. Nope, we're all never say nope. None of us are going to say that.
Okay, so it looks like I may have had the mute on too. This is, when you rush, you make mistakes, and this is what happened in this case. But we are on. I am looking for a couple of comments first before I begin. I need to make sure that I'm on. Normally I don't do this and I just jump in, but normally I'm more professional than this today. So if anybody is here, I need a comment from somebody who has just plugged in. And then we will begin. Today I am going to go over the latest details for the brothers in Ecuador. And by that, I mean Ronell and Ronell Stephenson, who are the brothers who are, okay, appreciate it. I apologize for that. If you watch my videos in the past, and you know this is not like me, but something unplugged and it accidentally ended the broadcast and had to start all over again. So appreciate it. Appreciate it. And thanks for the shirt compliment too. Put on something new this time. Where did I get this anyway? I think San Salvador. So anyway, again, thank you all for watching. Again, we're going to discuss the latest update for the brothers. I did a video over the past few days. I also posted the Revolt interview that we did. Revolt TV, by the way, is Puff Daddy's channel. And so I wanted to get that out to make sure that you guys knew that we are elevating it to another level. So I appreciate you guys jumping on with me now. I'm going to touch a little bit, of course, shortly on Colombia and just on the latest issues that they're having with their new resolution or I guess you guys are the ones that are having the issues. They're not having an issue, but a lot of people gave me some nasty comments just because I put the news out. Okay, I'm vaxxed. I don't push being vaxxed. I don't push not being vaxxed. You want to get vaxxed, get vaxxed. You don't want to get vaxxed, don't get vaxxed. So I'm going to leave that one alone. But anyway, let me just touch right quick on it briefly, because I think somebody commented on that. Colombia, you have to, I haven't heard anything about it being lifted, the mandate. I mean, as of last week, that's a new resolution. So if it has happened, I've had a busy work day and I'm not aware of it. But as far as I know, you have to have at least one shot. If you have only one shot and haven't had enough time to get the second shot in, then you can also use a PCR test. PCR tests are expensive too, your boy. And if you have taken both shots, but 14 days have not expired, then you also need the PCR test to get. If you are not vaccinated at all, and you are not a resident of Colombia or an expat resident, that means you need to have an M somewhere on your visa. You have to have a migrant visa. It could be for work or so on, but you have to have an M on your visa. If you don't, then guess what? You're going to be skipping Colombia. By the way, there's other places to go to. I know this channel focuses on Colombia, but there's all kind of places in Mexico to go that I feel are safe. I just got back from Guatemala a week ago, Mexico 2 months ago, San Salvador, El Salvador 3 months ago. I've been to Paris. I've been to Greece all this year, and Colombia. So now Colombia is just joining on board with everybody else. So do me a favor, don't throw the hate mail at me. Not my decision. They're doing what we are doing, the United States and other countries are doing as well. So let me jump to the brothers right now. If you saw the video or if you didn't see the video, let me recap all over again too. And I may have a couple of people to join me here. But if you're not familiar with the story, there are two young brothers from Washington, D.C. in the Maryland area. They live in Maryland right now. They still own property in D.C. as well. The family does. They moved to Ecuador. The youngest, Roja, to open an ecotourism business, which means he had 125 acres, which is a lot of land. They had cows, dogs, chickens, you name it. They had all different types of animals. They had all different types of fruits and vegetables. Pitaya, they had peppers. They had just signed an agreement with a pepper company to grow the peppers there for that company. So they were thriving. They had 4 houses on this property. Roja moved down in 2014 after he completed college and graduated. He moved down first. They had, again, 125 acres. His dad helped him get the property. His dad helped him work on the property to get it to where it is right now. It had some smaller buildings on the property, but what they did was just build up the structures to be almost like homes, almost like a little town, really, on 125 acres. They put street lights in. They put a street in. And then I can actually, in time, I'll share the videos of them prior to it before they got going. Lord, man, thank you for that. I had a $50 super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for that. But this right here is not about money or the need for money, although I thank you very much for that. And anybody else who donates too, you can donate on my channel. And the brothers will be the first to tell you that they're not asking for money either, because they just need to have their story heard. They just did a video with ASD Docs, and outstanding video, by the way. I even learned something. It went on almost an hour and a half or something like that. So I will leave a link in the description to that video too. Outstanding. Andre, well done, my brother. Well done. I appreciate you helping us to get the word out about the brothers. Okay. They have been languishing in prison since 2017, since they were accused of double murder, double homicide in Ecuador, solely because 2 bodies were found on their 125-acre property. And the rest of it is just a whirlwind of confusion and ineptitude. Just the lack of, I mean, I don't want to say anything bad about their government or the process or anything, but let's just say it's been said that they are pretty corrupt. And then from what all I can see, they are pretty corrupt. 3-judge panel, 2 an indigenous. The vote was 2 to 1 to convict them for double murder. They were also charged with guns, military-style guns, and drugs. Both of those charges got dropped. The guns, by the way, couldn't even fire. They were both antique guns. So that was just a pretext to get them on the farm to be able to. And the family showed up. Okay, so here's just to recap again. They were there thriving for 3 years. Mother and father just left the country within like a month or so ago. After that, which is like February, March 2017, the family of 2 young boys alerted the police that the bodies, that their kids were missing, that their son was missing and the son's cousin was missing. This was a month prior. A month later, they approached the farm at 3 a.m. in the morning, and this is right after they put out some sort of warrant. The families down there can actually swear out a warrant against somebody saying that they had guns and drugs on the property. That was their pretense to get on the property. The whole family, dozens and dozens of these people are out on the farm at 3 a.m. And again, I don't know where you live, but 3 a.m. in any place I've ever been is dark. In the jungle, mind you. So these dozens and dozens of people are creeping around in the jungle. They brought shovels. Why would they bring shovels? They had access to the property. I mean, it's not like it had a fence around it. They could have come. They knew John Roja. They could have knocked on the door and said, hey, have you seen our son? Have you seen our nephew? But they did not. This was their pretext to get on the property. So they showed up with shovels and they found 2 bodies in the same hole. By the way, the dirt that was in the mouth of the people who were found, the bodies that were found, was different from the dirt where they were buried. So, okay, let's put this 2 together. So as soon as I first heard that, I'm like, wait a minute. They showed up with shovels. The dirt in the mouth was different from where they were actually buried right there. They had little poke wounds on them. And once you do research, a lot of it is tribal, but you need to do research on this. Just do due diligence. Don't take my word for it 100%. I mean, no one can take anybody's word for it 100%. You have to read into the story. You have to look at the details. You have to read the judge's decision. I read the judge's decision. I sat up here and I hate reading. And I hate reading small print and pages and pages and pages. But I scrolled through this and I was here till midnight one night reading through this. And I'm going, where's the evidence? Where's the evidence? There was no evidence. There was no evidence that these people committed this crime. These brothers would have been freed if they were in the United States. Fact. I could have got them off, and I'm not an attorney. Let me look at some of the viewers I have right now, and I apologize for my start. This was a hot mess. I'm going to have to edit the beginning of that, and I'll lose a bunch of you. But okay, Lord says I'm good. Thank you so much, Lord. I appreciate that super chat. Much praise. New York Marine is here. Luis, thank you so much. Luis is our group moderator. Again, if you're not in our group, you need to send me your name. If you want to join, send me your name and your WhatsApp number to dcbornrobgroup@gmail.com, dcbornrobgroup@gmail.com, and I'll get you in. Luis is our moderator, and he does an outstanding job too. Lots of more information there than just here on YouTube as well. So jump in and get more information about Colombia and travel in general. Okay, Gary Mack, like my shirt. Appreciate that. Let's see. I heard Colombia. Oh, no, I haven't heard anything about the vaccine mandate being reversed. If that happened, I would totally be shocked and just stop reporting on Colombia, because I cannot. I mean, if this doesn't stay, I'm going to say that's not true. Okay, I'm just going to go on a limb and say that's not true. That they're saying that you don't need the vaccine right now. You need the vaccine to come. Columbus Hill says, I'm good. Okay, you're here. New York Marie says, a new resolution still stands. Thank you, Luis. And I can always count on Luis to either throw me a story or know something before me or put it out there whether or not this is true or not. And by the way, he works at the State Department. So it still stands. I don't think the government will. Well, let me put this up. The new resolution still stands. I don't think the government will like any measures or lift any measures for some time. Yeah, it is going to be there for a while. And again, thanks again to Lord for that. And he says, and by the way, let me go ahead and read his comment too. He says, thanks for the travel info and thanks for helping these brothers. Big respect. Yeah. I was reporting on the Reed situation in Barranquilla. That happened April 20th of this year. And within a couple of months, I started getting emails. I got a couple of emails from Ronell Stephenson. And I'd read a little bit about it, and I really was overwhelmed with work and everything else. And he sent me another one, and I'd look into it, and I'd read it, but didn't really have time to investigate. Then I think it may be his third time he reached out to me. I looked at it, and I was like, wait a minute. And when I read the part about that, they showed up with shovels, and then I started investigating, and then I spoke with them. And then we talked before the first interview, we talked a lot. And then we start, and I have who's always helping me as a researcher. He was already helping me with the Reed situation and the congressmen and attorneys and all that good stuff. And we both looked into it, and he looked into it a little bit further, and we were like, wait a minute, this is straight nuts. And so ever since then, I saw wrong and I decided to stand up. Now we need you to see wrong and stand up and help too. If nothing else, and you can say, I don't know whether or not they're innocent or guilty or whatever. If nothing else, get these brothers a true trial, a non-sham trial, should I say, one that actually listens to evidence, that allows them to put on evidence, that allows the evidence not to get destroyed or burned down. I mean, they burned down the entire property once they were arrested on the property. And I didn't say that earlier. But go back and watch my videos. I'll make sure there's links to those videos. If you're not familiar with the story, you need to really go back and watch those interviews and listen to the first one, and then the second one, and then the third one, and the progression. Story stays the same, but we get a little bit more information each time, I find, because somebody asked another question that maybe I hadn't thought of, or something else had popped up, or things have changed. Because if you watch those videos, both of the brothers are in the videos, all of the videos, except for the last one. And Roja was the only one in the last video because Ronell, he was feeling sick, and we communicate daily. He was feeling sick for a couple of weeks, and and myself, and we were going, yeah, he needs to, get it taken care of. Hopefully he can see, obviously they have some sort of medical care. Well, I mean, if you can call that medical care in the prison itself, let's just say they tried to give him a couple of pills and say, take this for parasites or something like that, try to say if they had parasites. Ultimately, with the help of a few expats, shout out to the expats there. Much appreciation for all you guys have done too. And they've done quite a bit. They're doing the logistics. You need somebody like that can handle the day-to-day, like make some runs, drop off paperwork and so on. And the expats there, thank you all so much, guys and gals. Thank you so much for coming and stepping to the plate for the brothers. Much appreciation. But now I forgot where I was. Let me, because I see stuff still popping up. Annie says, hi, DC. Hey, hope all is well. The brothers are well. Yeah, I'm going to continue on because I need to let you know that, okay, new comments, that the reason that Roja was the only one in that one is because Ronell ended up, they said it was his appendix. Once they finally got him out, they said it was his appendix, I believe. And once they either took out his appendix or some sort of operation on his appendix, then they noticed behind it, there was a mass, a growth on his colon. And then as this has played out over the past 2 or 3 weeks, they found out that it was cancer. I believe stage 3, if I'm incorrect. If you're watching Roja, I'm not sure, or someone else from the family, or if you're there, somebody, make me aware of it. But I believe he started today or yesterday, his first chemo treatment. So he's currently outside of the prison, and we want to keep him there. And hopefully, if nothing else, move them to a safer prison, because of where they are right now is not safe at all. So let me jump back to these. Okay. Lord says the indigenous might have gotten jealous. Two foreign young brothers buying up land and banging them fine young indigenous girls. They probably wanted to get rid of them and reclaim the land. Once it first happened, once they first got arrested, there was a demand of $1 million. I think it went down to $500,000. Then it went down to $100,000. Then they were trying to negotiate for the land. So, like I said in the other video, I think it was a land grab. That's just how it started. Okay, so I missed a few of these down here after Annie says, true, never got justice for Timothy Ravel Reed either. No, we have not. And we're still working on that. As a matter of fact, I sent an email to the family earlier today. We're still going back and forth because we're figuring out little by little how the embassy tries to get around. Oh, you have an attorney. The attorney is taking care of everything. No, the attorney's not taking care of everything. The attorney has nothing to do with the criminal side. And so we're trying to convey that to them now, and it's still going on. And yes, I'm going to guess old girl is still in the property. I'm going to guess, well, I know the owner still owns the property. Who's paying him rent? And it's an issue. There's an issue with the mail. The mail is all screwed up in Colombia. It's a whole bunch going on with that one too. I will revisit that one soon in a separate video. And he says they are innocent. God help them. Yes, we are praying for them. And if nothing else, please take a second right now and pray for them, especially Ronell right now with his diagnosis. He dropped 20 pounds in 1 week. Yeah. 20 pounds in 1 week. You picture that. Okay. And he says, freed already. Absolutely. Let's put that out there. Let's put that in the universe. Luis says, the brothers are experiencing an injustice. The U.S. Has its own issues, but there is injustices that go beyond comprehension in other countries. Yeah. I've seen video that I would never share. I've seen video that I can't take back. I can't unsee it. It's brutal. The lack of inhumanity. I mean, just the lack of humanity. don't care about life. I mean, it looks like I'm trying to watch what I'm saying. I'm struggling because I don't want to say something wrong about the prisons and so on and so on. I'll leave that to the other videos where I have time and not just off the cuff it. And he again says freed already. Luis says definitely sounds like people who went looking for the bodies knew how to get there and how to get the local police department. Exactly. And get this though, Luis, it wasn't the local police. The local police knew John's name is also Roja. Roja is John. So if you hear me say one or the other, they're interchangeable. So it's John and Ronell or Roja and Ronell, however you want to do it. But the local police would not touch it. I don't even think that the next jurisdiction would take it. They had to come from 150 miles away, if I'm not mistaken, to get police that would take this case, that would come in there because they're like, we know that's not true. We've been there. There was also a club on the property too, where John would do, Roja would do cultural events. One of the deceased was actually the DJ there. He was an indigenous. His dad, I won't even touch that one either, but his dad wanted to bring them back to work on their ecotourism because they also do the ayahuasca and all this good stuff too. So if you know about ayahuasca and, you know, the hallucinogenic where you get up in the woods, and there's another story for you and there's another movie for you right there. Okay, Logan says the information is getting out more and more. Their conviction will be overturned. I pray so, Logan. I pray every day, every meal. I pray. My time to pray is when I eat. Not to say I eat a lot, but I do a lot of praying. So before I eat, and we know with my lady and the kids, before every meal, we pray. And we pray for these brothers' freedom. And anybody who is afflicted by cancer, by the way, let's take separate prayers for them or any other illness that has befallen them. Okay, here's one in Spanish. Maria says, ¿Por qué los incarceración? Okay, why are they incarcerated? What's the motive? And pruebas? I'm not sure. And you're from Ecuador. Don't know why they're incarcerated, except for possibility of a group of individuals that wanted to see him in there. I mean, how much more of a setup can you get then? They come in for guns and drugs. There are no guns and drugs. And they said they had a drug plantation. So they're growing peppers. All this stuff is there. I mean, and of course, if there was a drug factory there, they wouldn't have burned it down. They burned down the property. They killed the animals or stole the animals that same morning that they were arrested. You could even see in some of the pictures prior, you can see where the brothers had cameras up to watch the property. Because obviously they leave the property. You live 125. First of all, you can't watch 125 acres. You just can't. Two people. You even have five because his wife was there too. You can't watch 125 acres. If you're not familiar with what 125 acres is, do the math on 1 acre and then multiply it by 125. And I'll almost guarantee that everyone who's watching right now, your house is not on an acre unless you're in the middle of, West Virginia or North Carolina. You got a lot of land, which can happen. But 125 acres? I mean, you're either a cattle farmer or, you have your own farm here in the U.S. if you have that type of land. So, Maria, no sé por qué exactamente. I don't know how to say injustice, but that's exactly what it is. Okay, Annie says, Timothy Reed case, did they find the killer? No. And that's the part that the embassy is trying to lean on the reps by telling the reps back home that, they have an attorney taking care of that. No, they don't. They don't have an attorney to take care of the criminal part. We're still looking for it. Imam, I see you out there, sir. If you'll tilt your camera up, we'll get you in a couple of minutes. Well, you disappeared. You went away. I'm going to bring on the Imam Alfred Muhammad, who is assisting the brothers also. Let's see. Lord says the indigenous might have gotten jealous. 2 foreign brothers, and I read this one, buying up land. Exactly. Exactamente. AO zone. Okay. You speaking Spanish for me. No hay pruebas. What is pruebas? Somebody let me know. Is that evidence? Gil says, Rob, this was also broadcast on the African Diaspora channel recently, so more are hearing it. Yeah, I heard about that one the other day. Thanks so much, Gil. Yes, we need exposure on this. We need more people to take a look at it. Yes, Annie, cancer. Stage 3, I believe, colon cancer. So please, prayers above all. Prayers above all. But I also want to say, the more exposure we get, and we started from here and now we're getting larger. So the fact that the Global Liberty Alliance has taken this case and Jason Poblet, he's leading this charge, which means it's a group of non-governmental, a group of attorneys who do just this, go around the world and help those who have been detained, wrongfully detained in other countries. So they have done due diligence and they have decided to take on the case. There'll also be a link in the description for that explains how and why they took on the case and all of the details. And they speak Spanish and they can assist the brother's attorney in Ecuador as well. So that is one big plus too. Now he wrote a letter to the ambassador too. Let me see if I can't pull this up. I hope I had enough time to get this ready, but hang on one second. Let me show you this. It's going to scroll by, but just take a look at it though. Okay, so you can see a little bit. Hopefully you're able to scroll a little bit through the letter. I'm not sure if I'll be able to put the link in there, but you need to know that people are stepping up. And, it's an issue of right and wrong, and right is to help these brothers get a fair case. And first of all, though, get them out of the prisons that they're in right now. If you haven't been watching the news, back in February, there were riots in 2 of the prisons, or all of the prisons, the main 3 prisons in Ecuador, their prison included. And then in September, it happened in one of the prisons. But, when something happens outside of the prison, somebody gets killed or somebody of notoriety or some gang member gets killed, then you feel the ramifications inside the prison. So it affects, doesn't matter what prison it happens in, it happens in all. And I think I told you this before, there are guns, there are long guns, there are grenades, there are explosives. I've seen videos of like a 7-foot hole blown in a few walls. They have dynamite, I don't know if it's dynamite, whatever the explosives are, to blow through a wall in a prison to get to the other part. They run the prisons. I mean, it's just the way it is. That's not a secret. They run the prisons. They give the keys to the guards every day to come in and do the count, but they run the prisons. But we want them out of this because it's a dangerous, dangerous situation. We want them in a prison that's less, they won't be as familiar with things as they are right now, but they will be safer. And that's our goal. Let me get back to a couple of the comments. Eddie says the police investigation was a joke. The family and who knows else had way too much time on the property. Yes, they were on the property. And there's video of the entire family on the property. And they knew Roja. They knew them. They had been on the property before. I think that some of them had worked. I mean, one of the deceased did, but some of the rest of the family had worked on the property. So they were very familiar with it. Imam, as soon as I see you in the screen, I can't see you right now in the picture. As soon as I see you on in the frame, I will bring you on to add a few words to this also. Let's see. Eddie says burning the house down and destroying the property was a sure sign of guilt. They got rid of all the evidence that could have exonerated the brothers. okay? Because they have video. Now, and I think I heard in the other video, if you're going to put up cameras, make sure you send your videos to the cloud, because you need to think ahead now. And now we know enough to think ahead and say it's not just enough to put a camera that's recording on the property, but one in which that records to the cloud, which I've done here in my place. When I leave, I know when I can hear, oh, sound activated. What is that? And I'll hear the dog bark. But if someone were to walk in, or, one of my apartment people were to walk in, I would know about it. Imam, again, as soon as I see you in there, okay, I see you on another one. Okay, there you go. Are you on two screens? I'm looking at two screens. The one with you, I can see the chair and you sitting still is probably best. I'm going to leave you on. I'm going to bring you on in a second. It's called Carcel 4. Get them there. Okay, so I'm saying, okay, so that's the place, the nicer prison, I guess it is. ASD Docs. This is the gentleman that did the video. If you are into crime and justice and right and being right, this is the guy you need to go see. You need to see his videos. I'll make sure that there is a link in the body of this one also. ASD Docs. He puts on some phenomenal, he does research. He does some detailed research before he puts it out. And he puts it out in a complete package. So it's like watching 48 hours of the first 48. Excellent work. So much appreciated, Andre, for jumping in there earlier and getting that video done. Phenomenal. Now, he wasn't going to do it in that format, but now time is of the essence, guys. Time is of the essence. We have to do something. And by that, we need to reach out to their representatives. I'll put all that information in the body of an email, in the body of the video. It's also in the last one. So please use that. I'm going to bring on the Imam right now and Andre, if you wanted to come on, let me know. Just give me a thumbs up here or something like that, and I'll send you a link to this, as a matter of fact. Invite, hang on 1 second. I am going to send you a link because I had to redo the last one. So if you want to jump on, because you guys need to know who this man is. Does a phenomenal job. Okay, Imam, I'm going to bring you on right now. Your screen's a little blurred, I think.
That's what I've been told. Let's see if we wipe it.
Yeah.
Is that clear?
No, it's almost like you have the plastic still on your camera, or a piece of tape, because I put tape on my camera.
No, there's nothing. I've been told that before. I don't know why it is. It is. It does look blurry, doesn't it?
Yeah, we can still see your silhouette though, so we can hear you well. So, what did you want to add to the story? What kind of information?
I want to add to the story that we've been in touch with Congressman Greg Meek's office, and actually, one of my colleagues had directly reached out to Congressman Meeks. I've also been in touch with Senator Menendez. First of all, greetings to your audience and greetings to you, dcbornrob. You're doing a phenomenal job. I must tell you, your video was so compelling that Father's Day of this year, this case just wrapped into my heart. I've been an activist all of my life, and I'm very careful about what I get involved with because, things come across your desk, you just don't know. But I had, first intuitively, I knew this was right. But knowing a bit about the law and reading the case, it just became shocking. So we have been in touch with Jason. We have been in touch with Congressman Meek's office. And I must tell you what I think is needed. People have to call Congressman Meek's office. All this really would take, and from background information I know, the president of Ecuador can let these brothers go tomorrow. He's aware of the case, but he needs cover and he needs pressure from the United States. He needs direction from the United States government. If President Biden or Senator Menendez Congressman Meeks were to call, and we even have the involvement of another government, another Caribbean government, a foreign minister of a Caribbean government that is asked to intervene. But the president also needs a call from the president. Now, when I get off this call, I'm going to reach out to somebody who is close to Speaker Pelosi. And we're going to try to put ask Speaker Pelosi to instruct somebody. If this could happen with a telephone call. So I think we should start one, Senator Menendez, the chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, should be called immediately. Congressman Meeks, even though he has responded, sadly to say, as a practicing politician, I have to tell you, I'm a councilman in Linden, New Jersey, and I've been on the national scene. These people don't receive response. They don't make as quick a moves as they would. Here's what I also want to say to you all. It's a sheer blessing of God that the Stephenson brothers has a father who has resources. Otherwise, we would have never heard about that case. Those young men would be dead. A lawyer that deals in human rights told me that the Ecuadorian prison system is the worst in the world. Worse than the Iranian prison system, which is a bad prison system. So we have to pressure. We need those young men out. I think you said Ronell has stage 3. I understand it's stage 4 colon cancer. Okay. And the number one, this is why this pressure needs to bear right immediately, because we have a hospital, Johns Hopkins will accept him, and they have better treatment, but certainly the Ecuadorian medical system is not up to par to treat cancer, advanced cancer. So we're looking at a very dire situation. In this season of expectation in the Christian calendar, in this season where everybody wants joy, let's pressure the State Department. Let's pressure. When I get off the phone, I promise you, I will call someone who can get in touch with Speaker Pelosi. I have been on the phone today to Senator Menendez's office. I'm asking directly to speak with the senator. I'm not wanting to speak to staff. I directly will speak to Senator Menendez. Number one, he's my senator. That's number one. But number two, he's the chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee. Really, if you all know any of your Congress people, tell them to speak to that person and to call President Biden. If President Biden were to call President Lasso, and tomorrow morning we will be asked to go by AVAT, and we will be going into Ecuador to bring those young men home. Mm-hmm. I am not at all comfortable with even the legal proceedings that's going on. I'm really very extraordinarily uncomfortable. And I don't know whether I can reveal this, but I will say this. I was supposed to have a conference with a lawyer for the family. But, I know lawyers too. And unfortunately, sometimes lawyers will drag cases out. Because we went at this, brother, 2 weeks ago, about a month or two ago, about removing them from the prison before we discovered that Ronell had cancer. That's a very dangerous prison. And the prisoners are urging, this particular prison is urging those young men to get out of that prison. So it's a very dangerous situation. It's a very explosive situation. We don't have a lot of time. We have to push now. So again, I'm going to reiterate, if you all flood Senator Menendez's office, flood Congressman Meeks' office, and any other congressperson, that's even somebody on the other side of the aisle, those of you who might be Republican, contact anybody who's in the Foreign Relations Committee, even Leader McCarthy, the congressional leader the minority leader of the Republican Party in the Congress, any of those people, Senator McConnell, anybody who we can listen to, because I tell you something, I am very dissatisfied with how the political people have responded to this case and also to the other case in Colombia. And we're planning to register a couple of million men to vote, primarily African Americans. And I'm going to tell you something. Voting and donating to campaigns get these guys attention.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, and we've always known this. I've known way back when, one phone call from Senator Menendez, Bob Menendez, one phone call from him, they're out the next day.
That's right. That's right. That's right. They will be preparing the plane. Mm-hmm. Even a call from Senator Menendez, first of all, he's Spanish speaking. He could go on the phone right now, call President Lazo, and they will be moved right away. Mm-hmm. That's no question about that. So I don't know how I'm going to be in the Washington, D.C. area on Sunday. And mm-hmm. I very well may stay over to Monday to see whether I have to go directly to Senator Menendez's office and ask Senator Menendez as one of his constituents and his fellow legislators, elected officials rather, mm-hmm. to make an action for me. That's what I told his staff. This has nothing to do with whether he lives in New Jersey now. This has something to do with his role as the chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. And I'm sure in a year or so from now, you're going to be coming to me for a vote. Mm-hmm. Now, there was another politician who was supposed to help me who has connections, and he was a part of the party that actually elected President Lazo. He happens to be Ecuadorian American. And mm-hmm. I said to him, he made me a false promise when the Stephenson brothers' fathers were here in London to see me, that he was going to make a call, and he hadn't done anything. So I'm going to hold his feet to the fire, and he's going to find himself not getting my support. This is how we have to operate, dear people. We have to begin to put pressure on these people, and we have to understand that the squeaky will get the oil.
Mm-hmm. And I want to interject that it's not a Republican or a Democrat thing. This is an American thing. And if you watch the video, one of the biggest, and I'm going to ask you, Andre, if you're still watching with ASD Docs, with your video today, Ronell, I'm going to ask for a piece of it because Ronell said something that was so profound. He said, for people who say, well, why'd you leave the country? And there's always people going to say, why'd you leave the country? Or why didn't you go to Africa? Or why'd you this? Or why'd you that? He went because, that's one of the biggest rights and one of the best things that this country's ever done for me is to allow me to leave and come back, but allow me to leave and travel the world, whereas most countries, they are not able to, and especially not able to come here. So why fault him because he wants to travel, because he wants to have a better life? And Roja, that was his dream. What's wrong with having a dream to move to Ecuador? I went to El Salvador, and I went up in the woods, and I'm going, man, I see what he liked about this. Guatemala, a week and a half ago, we're in the jungle. That's my first jungle when we went to Tikal. We're in the middle of nowhere listening to the howling monkeys. I'm saying, I see why he moved. I see why he likes it. So unless you've been there and seen it, please don't pass judgment. I mean, try to keep it positive. If you're going to say anything, try to say something positive, or don't say anything at all. How about that?
And he has a right to live where he wants on the globe. And as an American, the American government has an obligation to protect its citizens.
Exactly.
In the Reed case, the same thing. It's a crime to kill an American. It's a federal crime. Mm-hmm. And we're going to put pressure to bear on these people. And the Stephenson brothers can be released under Hostage Act. These young men are being held hostage. One doesn't have to be really a student of law, but anybody read a summary of that case has to know that this is a railroading. And I hate to bring race. Some of you know I don't push the race card, but I have to put a race card. I mean, just from what I gathered from investigators and others, people will ask them when they come into town, y'all are still here? Because jealousy has taken place. I mean, it's not just race. They had money, they're good looking, and they owned a piece of charged property. So greed has stepped in. And there's an extortion scam going on to extort. In fact, someone that is an Ecuadorian American politician told me, so why don't they just sell the land? So I saw right away, just from his statement, that is a money thing. These people are jealous. They're trying to please certain constituents, but this is a human rights issue. And you stupid people make that statement, why did he go there and why did he go there? Look, that could be you.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, I entered this case on Father's Day. I said, you know, why would I feel that my son, I have 4 of them, were in this situation, and I'm going to use all of my resources to help. So when I get off this show, DC Born Rob, I'm going to call someone close to Action's constituent, Speaker Pelosi, and see whether we can reach them. Another thing, you also write Jim Clyburn. Right, Jim, the House Whip, or whatever those people. Any of those people, anybody in the Congressional Black Caucus, anybody should be written that has any influence. Because all it takes is a call to the White House, and the President of the United States, Secretary of State, can easily get on the phone and call President Lazo, and President Lazo will have a rationale for letting them go. Now, he knows about the case, but you got to understand politics is the guy need a cover. And there's a constituency there that would like to see those young men stay in jail. They can let them die. There is that kind of constellation and people who believe that. And it's all over the world you have that. But let us work diligently and smart. And like brother said, above all, prayer. But after you pray, take some action.
Mm-hmm. Make that phone call. There may be other people over there or overseas that have issues, but there are a group of people who stand up for them. Make those phone calls. And this is what I need you, my viewers, to do, because we're all travelers. If you watch my show, then you know we're all about travel. We're all about travel to Colombia, to Guatemala, to Philippines, to Dubai, wherever you want to go, wherever you want to travel in the world. You have that right as an American if you have a valid passport. You have that right. That's
the State Department's job to protect you. That's our job. They have officers there to protect you. And I know for a fact that the people, I'm still having an issue with the State Department granting the granddaughter, the daughter of the Stevenson's brother, get a Social Security card. Now, see, these are simple things. But again, bureaucrats, government officials don't operate without pressure.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And just like you said, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. We have to make some noise. We talked in the past about the possibility of a protest and so on. We just need to get everything together before something like that can happen. And they know I'll be back home. I'll be back in DC, and I'm thinking about going for the Christmas holidays or between Christmas and New Year's.
I'm going to be in DC on Sunday. And I may stay over Monday because I have one of my family members passed, and my nephew passed. But I will take the next day after remembering the dead is to remember the living. And I'm telling you, the situation with Ronell is dire. Mm-hmm. This is not a joke. And this is a very bad situation. I mean, they should have taken care of him medically long time ago. And I'm really pissed off that those young men have been transferred out of that prison. We made that request back in October.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at a minimum, that's the least they can do is put them in safer,
right?
A safer prison. The U.S. government has failed them. Let's look at it. It's their job, like you said, to take care of Americans overseas, and they're not doing that. They're not doing it with health. I just read the documentation earlier or yesterday that while Ronell was in the clinic, the family had to supply the medicine. So the family had to, either Mr. Stephenson's there or one of the other people, Miguel or someone else there was helping out to bring the medicine to the clinic. They lost the medicine. Did you hear that? They lost his medicine. I'm like, I mean, how much more are they up against? What are we going to do to stand up? What are we as viewers, as travelers, what are we going to do to stand up? I mean,
and I tell you, those of you who are travelers, if we don't take a stand and put pressure on the State Department and call the Secretary of State, and we may have to claim race, because I'm telling you, an important American, non-African American would probably not be treated that way. I just don't believe it. And I'm sure that Senator Menendez would not allow a member of his ethnic group. I'm just going to have to cry race. I mean, it is real. It's unfortunate. It is an American issue. And I think it's a State Department. It's a bureaucratic issue. But I do know. I mean, I just know this for a fact. I have to bring it up. And it's unfortunate that 80,000-ton elephant in the room and he's past gas. So we have to deal with that. We have to deal with it. I don't expect you don't have to take a position on this, dcbornrob. I'm telling you. And I'm serious. But I want you others to shut up. That why he didn't do this, man, stop this after effect of a hurricane. It could have been you right here in the United States, and you wanted help. So stop this. You know, this is a tendency of people to be Monday morning or Tuesday morning quarterbacks. If you ain't gonna take no action, shut up.
That's a way to put it. You know, just like, okay, the tornado just happened a couple of days ago, and people would say, well, you live in Tornado Alley. Why'd you live there? You know, why are you doing that? Or why didn't you this? Or why not that? I see some of the comments. I'm always going to get somebody who's going to say something negative. I mean, it's just the odds, sheer odds of, you know, of life. You're going to have so many people that think one way and so many people that think the other way. What I try not to do is to divide things like Democrat, Republican, Coke and Pepsi. Anytime you have two choices, you're being set up right there. Have your own mind. This is an issue of right and wrong, and just and unjust and unjust. This is unjust. And of course, I've read more materials than most viewers do. Everybody's living their life. I'm living my life too, but I have to find time to read these documents. And thank God I have that's helping me look through these documents and remind me, did you see this? Did you know that? Did you hear that? And I'm going, I can't remember. I don't know. Did I see? Yeah. Oh, I remember that piece, but not this. I need somebody to help focus me. And he does a good job with that. I know there's a lot going on in everyone's daily life, but at some point you have to take a stand. I take a stand on stupid stuff sometimes. I take a stand where you probably shouldn't be taking a stand, but I'm principled. I just, right is right. Right is right. And two innocent men should not be in prison, in the worst prison possible, for something they did not do, just for wanting to live their dream out and having property in another country. I mean, if you knew all the details, then you'd know why I get heated and why the Imam gets heated. And the Imam, by the way, it doesn't say, it says Imam Alfred, but Imam Alfred Muhammad is also a councilman. And he just happened to run across my video and he took interest and he's standing up. So that's what we need. But most politicians, and no slight at you, most politicians need that prodding and that poking. Need somebody to say, you know, okay, maybe you won't get elected congressman again, or maybe you won't get this position on that board, or you know, you need. You
get dcbornrob. You can throw shade at the profession. I don't take it personally. If the shoe fits you, word. If it is the pair of sneakers, word. It is the Ferragamo's, word. But I would tell you this: that is true of this profession. I have been around this profession of political people almost all my life, and I can tell you, to the person, there's no more than about 5, and I met thousands. My children call me the Black Forrest Gump. I know you name an African American politician. Period. Most of them I know. And I know that they're basically spineless. They say, oh, I can't do that. Well, why can't you? Well, I may not get elected. Well, maybe you won't get elected. Maybe you don't deserve to get elected. Maybe you need to be principled. What this country needs is statesperson. Now, I may not get reelected. Hey, you know, I wasn't born an elected official. So, you know, that's risk involved when you blast people. I understand that. But I'd rather be a man standing up, stand up with men and women who got some, well, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
In other words, stand up.
Stand up.
In short, that's it. Stand up, do something. If you have the ability to type, and most people are on their phone all day long, you could be on your phone for 5 minutes. I'm making a phone call to one of the senators. Again, information will be in the description of the video. Phone numbers, email addresses, even a sample script. If you need anything else, let me know. dcbornrobgroup@gmail.com, dcbornrobgroup@gmail.com, and I will follow up. Just like joining our group, I follow up with all my emails. We need the assistance. We need your assistance right now. Let me read. Imam, hang on for a second. Do you have a few minutes?
Yes, I have a few minutes.
Yeah, hang on for a second. Let me get to some of the comments right quick because I want to get caught up. Someone says 539 Joat says, how are they being treated by the guards or other prisoners? They are, I would say, and watch my interview with Roja the other day, because I asked him, you know, would you rather be in the new prison because you're kind of, you know, you've been there for 3.5, almost 4 years, or almost 5 years. You are pretty established where you are. You know, he's used to his routines, but is it better to be in a new place? But just like I spoke of earlier, and somebody commented earlier, or at least they did on the ASD docs earlier, that the guards run, I mean, the guards are on the outside. The prisoners run the prison. I know it's a little bit different than what you're used to, but from my understanding is they take the keys, they have the keys, they give the keys to the guards so the guards can come in and do a count. But, and I don't know why either. I mean, they have all these weaponry, grenades. I mean, come on. How do you get past a grenade? They have grenades in there. Okay. So they have everything they want. Those who are in charge, those who are running the place, they have everything they need. But so in other words, in short, they don't have any interaction with the guards. Okay. Because the guards they're not inside. They don't, you know, they're not getting involved in short. They don't really deal with the other prisoners. Again, they stay in their group. They know how to move around their little area. And they stay to themselves. And again, now Roja is by himself because Ronell is in a clinic or a hospital. And maybe they can clarify, have they been moved from the clinic to an actual hospital, or is it still a clinic? But they don't really have any interaction with them is what I'm trying to say. Belton, Daisy said, this is scary, to say the least. You believe it. It is scary. Luis says, wow, how the local police didn't want to touch this issue because they knew they had no case. Exactly. And they tried. And the local police said, no, we're not. Nope. So they had to go to another jurisdiction. It's like I'm in Houston proper right now, but somebody from Conroe or, you know, the Woodlands, that police department came in here with a team of people, raided my place, with the family members from up there, dozens and dozens of them, and broke into my place at 3 a.m. I mean, look at it like that. It's just wrong so many ways. And Luis says the brothers will be free. I agree. They will be, and I will be there when they are. You can Google and see pictures of 125 acres. Yeah, and we have pictures, and it's all plotted out. We've seen the property off the land. It's a lot of land. Yeah, look, do that. Take 125 acres and like superimpose it over a major city that you live in. If you're in New York, do that 125 acres over Manhattan and see. That's a lot of property. Let's see. Pepe says, yes, forever is evidence. Oh, I got a word proper. I got it figured out. You know, yo hablo muy poquito español, okay? Bastante, pero no todo. James Doe says, has anyone contacted, well, it clicked off. Has anyone contacted Human Rights Watch? Not that they are legit, but they like to use the kind of news and propaganda against Ecuador. Well, again, the Global Liberty Alliance has picked up the case, and this is what they do. And they interact with all different type of organizations who go and help those who have been illegally and unjustly detained. They take it, they deal with human rights. Okay, Mark O says, man, I haven't seen a safari shirt since high school. Don't crack on my shirt now. And he says, fair hearing. Okay. Yeah, fair hearing is what they need. That they're going through the revision right now. They've been granted the revision, and revision, another name for revision is appeal. The first two official appeals that they had, fell on deaf ears. No one knew about their story though. So now there's a lot more people who are aware, especially the senators. His congressmen and his senators are aware of this story. I can guarantee you that because of you guys reaching out in the past, and I'm still asking for it again because now we have more asks. Use the script that's in the body of the description. Please reach out to their representatives on their behalf. Please. I would ask the same for you. Someone told me once, especially dealing with the Reed case, Rob, if I ever come up missing, man, I want you on the case. Well, help me out with the case because I can't do anything without you. And I definitely can't do much without helping me out and people like the Imam and the brother's dad and the Reed family. I can't do this by myself. Okay. Let's see. Logan says, I clicked it off. When we travel, we have to remember that we are targets a lot of the times because of just being from the United States and people always thinking that Americans are well-to-do financially. That's absolutely correct. I agree with that wholeheartedly. They sometimes look at us like we're an ATM machine. And it depends on the country you go to. Sometimes Americans, and I had to be told years ago when I first started really international travel about my girl, stop being so American. I was like, what do you mean? I'm American. What do you mean? And then I started watching other Americans and I said, oh, that's what I look like? Yeah. You need to lose that air, first of all. And then you need to stop wearing jewelry, stop dressing, stop wearing shirts like this. Because I'll get jacked with this shirt on. No, actually, I bought this in San Salvador. Attempting to fit in, I think.
A beautiful shirt.
It was the color I like. Good evening, DC Robin family. Thank you so much, Malika, for joining us. And he says, very dangerous. Pepe says that Logan Daniels true. Carcel 4, mate in Quito, safe haven. And this is from Oren again. Pepe says maybe these brothers got to really express why would they invest in Ecuador and take such a risk enterprise dream. I think most here would suspect this. I don't see where there's a risk. I don't see why there was a risk. There are thousands of expats that live in Ecuador, but most live in the city. They chose to live outside, and his dream was to have an ecotourism. So I don't think he saw it that much of a risk as possible. He knows, and Roja will tell you, he knows how much Black people are marginalized in the United States. He went out of his way to treat the indigenous as if they were him, as if they were American or anybody else. Just treat anybody like you expect to be treated. And I try to think that same way when I go overseas too. Good work, ASD Docs. Believe that. AO Zone, thank you so much for that. Andre and ASD, there will be a link for a video that he just did. And all of his videos are nothing short of phenomenal. He is my hero on videos and video editing and investigation type videos. I want to serve some purpose. So I am watching his videos. He should know I'm watching his videos as a guide to follow. Belton Daisy says, at James Doe, I just sent him Human Rights Watch a message with a link to one of dcbornrob's videos on the issue. After you comment, please do the same. Yes, please do the same. Anybody need links or anything, email me at dcbornrobgroup@gmail.com, dcbornrobgroup@gmail.com, and I'll get it to you. Eddie says, I will pray for Ronell and his brother. Please do. Prayers first, above all. Before you send anything, we need the prayers. Annie says, greeting to you, sir. Thank you, Annie. James says, I don't support Human Rights Watch if they are propaganda tool of the CIA. Okay. However you feel comfortable helping, help. Let me put that out there. However it is that you express concern for others, please do so in this case. James Doe says, but American propaganda convinces the masses. Okay, it does. Commercials work. AO Zone, greetings, Imam Alfred. This is from AO Zone, by the way, Imam. James Doe says, Ecuador has signed the extradition treaty with the United States. I believe that's true. Imam, you may know more than I.
Yeah, they have.
Governmental, yeah.
Yes.
And the Secretary of State was just there 2 months ago. That's when I asked for assistance then. And so the Secretary of State has to be aware of this also. Now, since all of these people are aware of this case, you may ask yourself, why aren't they moving? You know what? I ask myself this every day too. I don't know what's in anyone's heart or mind, so I can't make that conclusion. I can make the conclusion
I think the public has to know that governmental officials, public officials respond to community public pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Secretary of State may be aware of that. Many others are aware. But until it really reaches their doorstep, they won't move. I'm sure the president of Ecuador, I am sure, knows of it. And I know that several other congresspersons know of it. I know that to be a fact. That I had private conversations. But again, we have to have a groundswell. More and more of this come out, the more and more this will take place. And you all being organized, petition drives, calling the White House, particularly calling Senator Menendez. So they won't move until you move. Remember, what all the progress we made in this country was from public pressure. And we have a right to do that. And we have not a right, we have an obligation to do that.
That how did you just say that? What was the term?
I said we have a right.
Oh, no. They won't move unless you move.
Until we move. And
like
we have a right to do that, and we have an obligation to do that. No, they're not going to move. Yeah, I talked to someone, well, not a staff person, but a pretty high level person. He's aware of it, and he said some off the wall thing about what he would do if it were his son, and some crazy stuff. And I'd go crazy. Well, I mean, look, we're not asking you to go crazy. We're not psychiatrists. Not here to treat anybody. Take some action. You're an elected official. This person was an elected official pretty high up. Call the State Department. This person actually has the ability to call the president. He's a mayor of a major city. I brought it to his attention. Again, you have to give politicians, I'm throwing shade to my profession. They will only respond to pressure. They respond to three things: votes, campaign finance, money that you donate to them, and pressure. That's the nature of politics.
Yep. They won't move unless you move.
So
for those who ask that question, why aren't they doing anything? Because we're not doing anything. We're not doing enough. Let's put it.
I'm not bragging. Since I've gotten on this case, we have moved the ball a little bit down the field. Now, we haven't forgotten Timothy Reed. I'm telling you, we haven't forgotten that. And we're gonna circle back on a lot of these cases. And I'm telling you, all you who may be watching us overseas, you all get in touch with dcbornrob. We need to have a live chat group. We need a group together. You all need to be organized because it could happen to you. I see you all complaining in the Dominican Republic. None of those places are safe, but the American government represents real power. And we'll even approach a couple of friendly governments in Latin America to give us help. There are countries in Latin America, a couple of countries in Latin America, one of their foreign ministers I'm in touch with. And even reaching out to the Organization of American States. You can ask, those of you who may be expatriates, if you have contact with the presidents of some of these countries, please contact them. Again, they respond to pressure because all these countries need foreign aid, and they get foreign aid. So your job, you concern, show your concern.
They won't move unless we move. So we need to activate. And we do need to be more organized. I mean, of course, with our issues that we had at the airport in Cartagena, with the Reed family in Barranquilla in Colombia, we thought about getting an attorney and keeping someone on retainer. We need to be organized as travelers. This is not a color thing. We need to be organized as travelers, as people who leave this country. I mean, again, to me personally, that's the best thing this country's ever done for me, is to allow me to leave and experience the rest of the world and come home. Okay, I may end up retiring overseas. Who knows?
You still need the protection. And I tell you all, don't go anywhere and denounce your American citizenship. Don't. Okay. You could be a dual citizen. You obligate America. You got a contract with America. You are an American citizen. America has a contract with you, whether it's honest or not. It's our job to make America honor its contract to its citizens. That's the point. And you all who haven't traveled anywhere outside of your backyard, well, that you don't want to travel no more to the McDonald's, that's your business. Don't knock everybody and say to them they have to be in the chitlin plate. No, they don't. They can travel. I'm referencing you all who want to be local, want to stay on the chitlin circuit. That's fine. I don't put you down. Don't knock others who decide they want to go to the moon.
Exactly. And the more you leave, the more you know. If you stay in your neighborhood, that's all you know. If you stay in your city, that's all you know. And
remember, you can be an ambassador for your people and for America. Make a better image for yourself. And like I said, I used to just watch these shows because I was very interested in other reasons of watching them. And then I'd see how some of us act. There's a book out called The Ugly American. So don't go around there flossing and flashing and whatever else y'all do. Remember, you represent something. So really represent. Think about what other people expect of you. I've traveled all over the world. I always carry myself in a certain way, and I don't carry myself as somebody to be played with. And therefore, I don't get played. What do you say? If you get played, you get splayed. Well, let's stop that.
Yeah, we are all ambassadors for our country, our race, our state. When somebody, you may go to Europe and they go, "Where are you from?" "Oh, I'm from New Jersey." "Oh, I heard about New Jersey people." Or you may be the only person from New Jersey
That's
they know.
Exactly right.
What they know.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Really, yes. And I've seen people. I've been in parts of the world, and they saw me and they said, "You're the first." You're the first one black person I've met in one country. They call us chocolate. But you're the nicest chocolate I met. Yeah, okay, well, I'm Godiva. That's the point. I hope the rest of me Godiva. So, I mean, this is true. We also have to understand, for African Americans, there's an ugly image around the world. People have come in contact with us through the military. And in some cases, they have come in contact with us who work for the CIA. I don't know whether you know the story, dcbornrob. This is kind of off the topic. The chief of the CIA station in a Middle Eastern country was raping women. He was African American. The station chief was inviting women to the embassy and raping them. I think he did 10 years in jail. So people have a real funny image of us, and some of us reinforce it. People be in the military, people in the merchant marine. They come in, they act like the ugly America, like they own everything. They play with people's women. They take advantage of people. So we have to understand that. That's all of that contributes to an ugly image and possibly to murder and mayhem that may be predicated upon us. So be careful.
We are all ambassadors. Doesn't matter where you're from your state. From your state, if you're from New York and you go to LA and you act up, they're going to say, that's the people from LA. Give you an example. Years ago, I was on a business trip to LA. I forgot where, John Wayne Airport, I think it was. Just checked my car and found out I knew I had a ticket. They told me I had two. And I was like, I have one ticket. I know I have one ticket. What are you talking about? Look, I got to catch a flight. Where's the bus at? I know I have one ticket. Don't tell me there's two. Not caught serious attitude. And she was like, oh, she was real nice. She said, oh, you must be from the East Coast. And I was like, what does that mean? I'm from the East Coast. So you slanting people from the East Coast? What does this mean? Because people from the East Coast get two tickets? I mean, and I was straight DC at that point. And I saw a guy come over afterwards, and I'm black. Next guy comes over, he's a white guy, and he was going, "What do you mean about you don't have my car? My car's not ready." And he caught an attitude, and I was like, and I heard him say, "Look, my flight to New York is at this time," and I was like, "Oh my God, this is what she means." This is the same thing I learned from my girl telling me don't be American. Was I was East Coast and stressed. I used to be. I'm totally different here in Texas. But in DC, I had an attitude. I was a problem. I didn't think I'd make it to 18, then 21. And then, once I made it 21, I said, well, maybe there's a chance I may live. But I just knew I was going to get shot because I had a big mouth. And that's just, that's just how people, I don't want to slight all of the East Coast, the upper, East Coast from DC, Baltimore, Philly, Jersey, New York. I won't name any of them, but we are higher strung on that coast. So when you leave that area and you go to California, you are representing that area. When you leave California and you go to New York and you walk around, hey, dude, hey, where is this? And you wonder why everybody's blowing the horn. You're out of place. Well, they want, okay, here comes a guy from California. You are the ambassador from where you're from is what I'm trying to say. So when you do go abroad, a lot of places, we're walking in Santorini, we're walking in Paris. I'm either the only black or I'm the only American black because there's a lot of Africans in Paris, and in London and all in Europe. But Black Americans, not a lot of us out there. Guatemala, we were both like unicorns. I'm the only brother. I'm the only a brother. I was the only American, and she was the only Asian. So you are representing where you go. So act accordingly. Okay, let me get to a couple of. You let me know if you got to go, Imam. Let me run through a few of these. James Doe says, find some Ecuadorians to exchange prisoners. I mean, whatever they got to do at this point, do it. Okay, James says the U.S. government doesn't let anyone go on demand of another government. How can we expect the same from Ecuador?
But that's not true.
We pay them, number one. How about that?
But that's not true. There's an international prison transfer compact. It happens every day. People are transferred from the United States prisons to other countries. Sometimes they even allow a prisoner to do that time in a local prison. So I'm sorry, Carl, you don't quite know what you're talking about, but that's not true at all. Yeah, there's extradition. There is it's like the interstate commerce on prisoners. Sometimes people will be convicted. I know a prisoner was convicted in Washington, D.C. He was in the federal system. He's now in the state of Washington. I won't name him because he's very famous. But that happens. So the same goes for countries. Mm-hmm. And there's constantly negotiation going on. And those of you who want to knock the Human Rights Watch, see, some of you, we just come on with all kinds of paranoid, unsubstantiated statements. Believe you me, I wouldn't involve myself with somebody who was involved with the CIA. And again, everything the CIA does ain't bad. So, I know some of you will get disturbed about that, but I don't care. Because one of the things that I want to spend the rest of my life is educating us about the government. We don't know the government. There's a lot of paranoia walking around among us. And we have to stop that. This whole idea, you think you're woke, you are asleep.
Mm-hmm. Well, we need that education. So you need time. I'll give you time on here another time where we can go over and people can ask questions about the government. If you know about it and you're open to sharing that.
Be glad to. I'm first a preacher and a teacher before I became a politician. So y'all got me. And look, and I tell you, I have credentials in the streets. The reason you probably can do what you're doing right now because I marched in Washington, D.C., I marched in Lynchburg, Virginia, I registered to vote. So I think I have some not bragging rights, but some authority. See, I remember America when really, if you got on the bus, when you got to Washington, D.C., and once you got into Delaware, you had to go in the back of the bus. So they call it the Mason-Dixie line. So I'm not going to take any smart talk with some of you all this. Don't know what you're talking about, the same thing to be saying. And you know what it is? The people of my generation have ignored you all and haven't been responsible to you all and haven't taught you all and dialogue with you. So I welcome the dialogue, even though I'm focused right now on this case of Timothy Reed and the Stephenson brothers. And now other cases, the people being mistreated by other government because we don't stand up and we don't make our government responsible. Even making people like me, who is a local councilman, responsible. But my people let me know. They call me if that garbage can got missing. I get calls about all kinds of stuff. And I to the best of my ability, I respond to all my emails. And you can email me too. My email is, I'll give you my personal email since it's non-governmental stuff. But you can reach me, imamalfred@gmail.com. Also, give me a moment. I'll give you the, I can give you my governmental thing. But if it's something dealing with the government, I will give you my governmental thing. It is A. Muhammad at linden-newjersey.gov. A. Muhammad at Linden, LINDN-newjersey.gov. And if we can do anything to help you, we certainly will.
But easiest email, probably what they see on the screen, Imam Alfred
at Gmail. Yeah, they can reach me there. Yes.
That's right in front of you. Okay, let me jump in a couple more of these because they're piling up. James Doe says the United States government doesn't let anyone go on demand. Okay, we've been over that one. Logan says, but look at what happened to ASAP Rocky when he was in Sweden. If he wasn't a celebrity, he would have gotten the book thrown at him. I agree with that. The reason that the president got him out is because he had notoriety. He wouldn't. I don't think that would have happened for the brothers during this time. But unless our current president, I believe he would if somebody put it in front of him, and he thought he was going to get some good out of it too. I'm not Democrat, Republican. Since you're sitting here, Alpha Muhammad, I'm trying not to dog all politicians.
No, you can do that.
I don't agree either side. I mean,
you can dog them, and I'm really nonpartisan, even though I caucus with the Democrats. I'm registered Democrat, but I'm going to tell you, as far as I'm concerned, the whole American people don't know anything about politics. Period. That's of all races, and the African American Latino community is the most ignorant. And all we do is pay attention to slogans. One of the things that Dr. King promised and didn't get a chance to finish was voter registration and voter education. Most of us don't know what elected officials do and what they don't supposed to do, from the local school board person. You should know these people.
Mm-hmm. But most of us, and that's not a either side. Is the fact that we're all tied up. I think we're all tied up on our laptops, our cell phones. I look at people sitting at a table and like everybody's on their cell phone, and if you look at the information about the Facebook that happened a month or so ago, the whistleblower, their job is to keep you on that, is to keep you there. It's the same with YouTube. The goal is to keep you there so you don't leave. Now, I have 37 people watching right now. By the way, anybody who comes in or goes out, please do me a favor and hit the like button on your way in or out. I forgot to remind you or ask for it. Do me a favor. It really helps the YouTube algorithm. But the whole goal on YouTube, it's the same thing. That's why we have pop-ups halfway through that says, oh, watch this video. Because we know you stopped watching at 5 minutes. So at 4.5 minutes, we put in something that says, watch the next video. So the whole goal is to keep you on that platform. You need to understand that their social media is like, got us locked down. Not me. I'm on YouTube, obviously, but I can barely tweet. And Instagram, we went over this earlier. I'm still learning how to deal with that. And you go look at my account and you'll see what I mean. But the whole job is to keep you on there.
I'm going to have to leave you, good people.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to come back again. Hopefully next time I'll come back with a clean camera. I wish I was just casually like you, but I do have to have I'll ask someone to help me clean this camera. Thank you. I hope to visit with you all soon. Pray, and after you finish your prayers, take an action to help these two young men to get out of this terrible situation. Just imagine yourselves. Firstly, with a deadly disease in a foreign country. Imagine that, number one. Then number two, thinking of the fact that you decided to build a life in a country, and then you had a good father that allowed you to think of that. Put yourself in those young men's situation. Don't even think as a parent, but just our situation. Didn't even think as a parent. And I think many of you would think totally different, and you feel the same concern I feel. These are human beings. They happen to even look like us. But the most important thing, they're human beings and Americans. I don't think any human being should suffer what they're suffering. But I certainly don't think somebody look like me or an American should suffer like that. And to that person who said, well, I'm sorry, dear, whomever you are, I don't think you understand international relationships. So one day, I would love to come back to educate. Again, you can email me and I'll give you my number. We can have a dialogue. Because I would love to educate you to how the world operates, how international politics operate, and even how local government operate. Thank you. Peace be unto you in the mercy of God. Get those like buttons up, as they say.
Thanks, Imam Alfred.
And I tell you, I realize sometimes when I'm in a certain state of mind, you can go on social media and you'll be in a rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
And you
can keep you in there
all day long. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mom. Much appreciated. Okay, I'm going to jump through. I'm going to try to get through all the comments that are on right now. So for everybody who's on right now and coming on, I'm going to try to get through it. If you are in our group, if you are in the Columbia Bound group, I just put a link in there so that you can join me yourself. So if you want to hop on for a minute and give your point of view and you are in our group, you would have this link. If you are in our group, you will have this link right now. Click on that link, join me right here, and you'll pop right in. Just be respectful with what your topics are. And well, hopefully this is the topic, but with your concerns. Okay, so James again says American can easily say it was an honest mistake after killing a bunch of kids. Why would they care about 2 men in Ecuador? Pepe says at James Doe, true. Lord says we cannot wait on the government to help these brothers, especially with the young man having late stage cancer. And now to find out at stage 4, I'm shocked. We need to do a GoFundMe for them and pay off the right person. You know, just so you know, the brothers are never going to admit that they did this. They're not going to admit to something that they did not do. Okay. So if that's part of the bargaining, it's not going to happen. James Doe says weed is legal now, and has America let out all those nonviolent crime convicted people? No. And you're correct. And, you know, again, I wrote it down. They won't move unless you move. They won't move unless we move, unless we make enough noise. I'm here ringing a little teeny bell, hoping that you guys will join me in this because, you know, I'm a true believer. You can't lose if you don't quit. And we're not letting this story go. So this, nor the Reed story, nor any other injustices that we see in this hemisphere right here that I think that I can be of assistance with. We need to do something. They're not going to move unless we move. I like that slogan. I hope he doesn't mind if I borrow that. James, by the way, prison is a moneymaker. So it's to behoove them to keep people in prison to make money off of them. James Doe says, I doubt the USA would allow anyone in the prison system to, 1, have a phone in prison, 2, to reach out to live stream on YouTube about their case. True. They keep you locked up, and they keep our minds locked up, the ones that are out here. We're just as locked up out here in the mind outside of the prison. Luis says, Imam Alfred is right. The situation is explosive in terms of the brothers being held in prison. The situation in Ecuadorian prison is dire. Their safety is of utmost importance. Thanks, Luis. You got the link, brother. You want to jump in? Jump in with me. Malika 444 says the cancer diagnosis is heartbreaking. It is. Prayers first. We ask for prayers, number 1. I'm not sure what this is, so I'm going to go ahead and remove it. Malika says exactly. James Doe says, I don't want to bring it up again, but Julian Assange has uncovered thousands of war crimes committed by the U.S. government, guilty of speaking the truth. Yeah, there's some truth out there that is not been brought to light as of now that should be. A lot of people know more and just afraid to put it out there. I personally am sitting on a story that I'm afraid of because I know that they can ruin you with a button. Until I have some cover, I'm not going to touch it, but I'm aware of something that is, let's say, explosive. And for all of you guys who are out there who have stories that you think may deem attention, send it to me. And we'll do a little bit of investigating into it to see if, in fact, we can truly be of assistance or not. I'm not sure. We can't. I mean, obviously, I'm just a guy with a small YouTube channel doing what I can, just standing up in the position that I'm in. Why would I not help? That's the way I look at it. And then from DC too, come on. If that is true, then maybe the marketing campaign about his dreams and disappointment will help them to gain support. Yes. I actually have, I messed up this live tonight in the beginning. I had expected to have, and then work ran late, I'd expected to have a video on them prior to all of this so that you can see why they moved there. I'll make sure that's in my next one so that you can see what it was like before the houses got built up, see what it was like before they put in the road, see what it was like in the clubs, seeing the cultural events that he had. He actually ran for he competed. Roja competed for Mr. Universe and he won. And he brought it back to Ecuador. He didn't go to the United States to do it. For his weight class, he won Mr. Universe. He did a lot for them. They thought he was going to run for mayor or something soon. Somebody ran into him in a shop once and said, hey, John, what are you doing? I thought you were in jail. This was a while before any of this mess happened. It was almost like it was predetermined and other people knew what was going on. James says, I've been abroad 39 years now. There is no freedom inside the United States. There's the other flip of the coin, because people outside of this country, expats, specifically I'm talking about Colombia now, will tell you this is the matrix, and their whole job in life is to get out of here. That just reminded me. We lost one of our viewers. He passed away. His name was Chief, as I know him. I communicated with him. Older gentleman, wanted to die in Colombia, lived there a month, and just passed away last week. Rob from Sweet Georgia Cafe put it on, and I made sure before he left here that he went to Sweet Georgia Cafe. You have to go there. Like, you get in your Airbnb in your hotel and you get hungry. First thing you do is need to go there, eat, and the camaraderie and the family, and they lived up to it for him. And they say he died. That's the way that he wanted to die. But his name was Chief. And when he said that and he put up a picture, he was a former chief of police or of some division of the police. I think it was Detroit. Correct me if I'm wrong. And we went back and forth. I was just helping him on little stuff, and he needed help. And I actually, thanks to Ed down there too, because I reached out to Ed down in Medellin and said, will you help him out when he gets there? I help him get situated, because it wasn't technically apt. Like, I'm losing it too the older I get. I'm not that technical or have the patience to deal with it anymore. But when I saw his picture, I said, oh my God, that's Chief. And I went and looked at my phone, and it said Chief, and it said missed call, October 28th or something. I was like, man. Anyway. Next one says, James Doe says, American Constitution ends at the border. That is true. We don't expect other countries to live by the United States standards. I mean, that's why we go there, because we know it's not the United States. That's why expats move abroad, because they know it's not the United States. James again says, it's a human rights violation for Americans to kill anyone. The track record of the United States is not in the favor of these two gentlemen. It's not, but we're going to see what we can do. Luis says, people have different dreams, and along with dreams come different paths with different risks. If dreams and success means leaving this country and taking risks, one can't fault one's vision of dream. Thank you, Luis. Thank you, Luis. Luis, jump in here, man. If you still here, jump in here. again, the link is on our Columbia Bound group. And anybody else, again, in the group, the link is there if you want to join in. Aether, LOL, very, very stupid to question a black man's right to do what all free men do. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder, sometimes I get comments and wonder, are these travelers or these people just traveling past my channel and decided to stop? They were looking for a Doritos recipe and ended up on my channel because they comment like they don't travel. Personally, I travel. Travel is my life. If you told me I couldn't travel anymore, I'd wither up and die. Life would not be the same anymore. And this year, I've been to Colombia, to Mexico, different cities in Mexico, to El Salvador, to Guatemala, to Paris, to Athens, Greece, Santorini. I've been in the jungle, my first jungle. I'm a traveler, and you know, travelers like my girl and I. And she's even more of a traveler than I. And you know how you can tell somebody likes travel more than you when you're on a trip. And I see you, Sonny. I don't see your picture though. When you're on a trip and you're enjoying yourself and you're planning on your next trip, that means you're a traveler. So if anybody on here right now and they know what I mean, and I guess Sonny doesn't have his picture up, but let me try to join him in. Sonny, you there? Maybe he's not here. Well, he dropped off. If you're there, you want to jump in or jump in with your camera, just come on back. You have the link. Again, if you're in the group, jump in right quick. I'm going to do another 15, 30 minutes to see if I can get through these comments. James again says, USA is the biggest human rights violator globally. You won't win anything based on human rights. Pepe says, respectfully, Ecuadorians ain't dumb. They've heard all kinds of stories with all kinds of injustices and killings and deaths due to narcos. You got to get above this noise. You know, one thing is true, you know, and I was thinking this when the Imam was talking. They hear about Americans, but they got TV too. So they see all the mass shootings. Trust me, you want to know what they're saying outside this country, and I know what they're saying outside this country when there's another mass shooting here, you know, and people say, well, why you want to go abroad? When you just see all these atrocities that are going on here, or they see an election almost stolen. Well, they watch us. They watch TV. Yeah, some want to be here because, I mean, we happen to capture all the money and have everybody else working for us. But if they stop and think the fact that we're broke and we're just spending outside of our means, look, aren't they trying to extend a debt limit right now? We don't have it. We don't have it. This country's broke. And if you think we're not broke, go look at the debt calendar and see how far in the hole we are. We just print more money out of nothing. Out of thin air. Eddie says, I hate to mention race, but Professor Henry L. Gates had a documentary titled Black in Latin America. Check it out. Okay, we'll do. James says, U.S. law is not global law. Yeah, call the president, see how that works. I know one thing about calling the president that won't work if you don't call him. It's just like action to anybody. I mean, enough of us make a phone call, they'll hear us. If one of us does, two of us does, you're right. You know, they can ignore us. I mean, hell, they're ignoring us. Well, they were ignoring us. They're listening more now. I can promise you that. Okay, both governments are listening more now, and when I say that, I mean Colombia and Ecuador. I am for freedom. I'm leaving by the end of the month to travel through Latin America and beyond. These stories make me more cautious, but nothing will stop the wanderer in me. Exactly. I mean, if you're a wanderer, if you are a traveler, nothing's going to stop you. You just need to do due diligence and be more cautious. You know, blend in. Number one, blend in. In any color, blend in. Yeah, Philippines, Duterte, don't get caught with drugs. You might just get shot. Yeah, Duterte said kill him. As a matter of fact, I think he said he did kill some. And he'll say, oh, they'll go away. I've had that conversation while I was in the Philippines. Well, what about this? How can what if they do drugs? They will just go away. And I was like, well, what do you mean just go away? They will go away. And I said, okay. Yeah, Duterte, I think his term is ending. Manny Pacquiao may be the next president. We'll see. Yes, we see them all over YouTube, and I cringe each time a black man goes to a new bad neighborhood alone, thinking he is free. Lloyd says Trump would have gotten them out of there. He freed the baseball players in China, and they were caught stealing. Biden won't do anything. Reach out to Senator Tim Scott. Reach out to whoever your senator is. Again, let's not even say the R and the D words. Whenever I watch the news and they say, oh, the Democrats did this, or the Republicans, change the channel. Okay, you are being misled. If you listen to one position over the other, or you recite things that you heard from one side, you're doing an injustice to yourself and us who listen. It's both sides are corrupt. I mean, let's face it. The system is broken. We have to stand up and enact change. I mean, we got as far as we are by protest, by standing up, by saying we're just not boycotts. We got where we are by saying we're not going to spend our money here. I mean, we stood up together. 5 people can't say we're not going to spend our money there. You need to have a large enough contingency to make change, but you have to be vocal, number one. But it starts with one person. So one person stands up, 2 people stand up, 10 stand up, we can get something done. Okay. So I understand why they are in Ecuador. Okay. Yeah, living their dream. James says the U.S. government has absolutely no obligation to help American abroad. I don't agree with that at all. I think it is their obligation to protect us overseas, not to defend us. Well, I mean, I guess to defend us also. I mean, there are mechanisms in place that they do. This is why they give us the right to go abroad. If they weren't supposed to protect us, they wouldn't let us leave at all, right? Okay. James says that's wishful thinking. They don't even help you at home. Look at how many people in America die in prison and or released after decades after being falsely convicted. Exactly. And somebody needs to stand up for each one of these cases. When you find injustice, do something. The reason I'm doing it here is because, heck, I have 41 people listening right now, and people are coming and going the whole time, but because people are listening, and that's why I'm doing this. Let's see. Malika says, more like they stole the medicine. Could have very well happened. That when I read that, I was like, is this, wait a minute. And I need to revisit this with O2 is how that is true. And I see your message. If you're listening too, jump on, man. I know you're not going to put your picture up, but at least we can hear your words because you are very well into this case with me. 4 pads. Biden only cares about the African Americans he brainwashes to vote for him here in America. Anthony says this is about race and money. I kind of shocked because there are Black Ecuadorians, but this shows us the racism that Black people are going through in South America. They got the unlucky draw. They picked the wrong straw, if you ask me. They were living fine. They got along with everybody. It's just rest assured. Let's just focus on getting the brothers out. Let's not even place blame right now anymore. Let's do what we can to get them out and to get Ronell healthy. And by healthy, the best solution for him is to bring him back to the United States, like Johns Hopkins or someone else, or MD Anderson here in Houston. That medicine was okay. Let's see. 3D emanation for beginners. Hey, brother, what's going on? James Doe says again, the U.S. government has absolutely no obligation to help you abroad. In fact, the embassy. Okay. James again, the embassy is not your legal representation. 3D animation. It can happen in Colombia. It can happen anywhere, I think. Belt and Daisy, shout out to Imam Alfred for understanding the freedom lovers and many of us. Absolutely. We are travelers. I can tell by the comments who's travelers and who travels abroad. I can tell who are serious travelers. And I think I've been to a lot of countries. I've had some experiences from riding a camel in Dubai to ziplining in the Philippines I've been all around the country, all around the world, but there are people that make my travel look like nothing, that just see this world. I mean, my girl's mom has been in a hot air balloon watching the wildebeest run. I said, how did you watch the wildebeest run in Africa? She said, from a hot air balloon. I was like, oh, man. Africa was on my list until 2 months ago. I guess it's still on my list for next year. But there are people who put my travel to shame. But if you've been to one country, or if you've been dreaming of seeing other countries, and my travel goes back to when I was a kid, watching the Greyhound buses pull out and trailways. If you ever heard of trailways, or if you're old enough to remember trailways, I remember wondering, where are those people going? What are they experiencing? And now with TV, you can see where they're going. Why not have that experience yourself? Which side of the TV do you want to live on? Do you want to live on this side looking at experiences, or do you want to have the experiences? Last week, or a week and a half ago, when I was in Guatemala, and I'm meditating and in front of the what are they called? The towers. I'm in the middle of the jungle in Tikal, the ancient ruins, and I'm sitting there in front of Hawa and just jaguar. And there's jaguars out there too, by the way, and we know that. And I'm sitting there meditating on the ground. I have a picture and video I still need to do. I just can't explain to those who have never traveled. That moment right there, or sitting on the coast of Lake Atitlan and looking out the water, eating shrimp. Oh man, I can't explain it. You're never going to have that feeling here. It comes from traveling abroad, and you learn from different cultures. More people you meet, more people you learn, more things you learn. Okay, I hate it when people always blame the victim. I would have moved different, please. Okay, Pepe. Since Imam wants to raise tone, people would not believe anyone that they were dumb enough to buy 150 acres and a dream whim. They are jaded. Okay. I thought it was set up in Barranquilla extortion. Well, yeah. The day I heard that one, you know about it. You know how I feel about that. If you get caught abroad, you get judged abroad unless they extradite you to the United States. Anthony says they know black men travel to South America and Central America and believe people don't like to see black men travel and be free. I will say one thing about Colombia. If I keep my mouth shut, they don't know I'm black. I mean, I just have a shade of Colombia. It's all different shades. I just checked. You need $25K investment in Ecuador to receive a residence permit. Anyone got Brandon's phone number? I got some human rights violations to report. Sardo Numsla. Wait, was that the motive? Was that the motive to what did I click on? Was that the motive? What was that? Was that motive according to the police? Also, if the indigenous people dug up the bodies, how is it that the evidence is admissible? Yeah. I know it's not an American system, but that's evidence too. And that and I learned that also, which I don't know how some things slipped past me, but that the police did not take the deceased bodies away. Everything was destroyed. They dug up the bodies and they took the bodies away and took them to wherever. So if you think just knowing that, is that enough to, okay, they showed up at 3 a.m. with shovels. No reason to suspect the brothers at all. Why? And they'll tell you. I mean, they testified. There was no reason to suspect them. They knew John. They knew Roja. Okay, okay. I'd like to audit some American prisoners and American prisons. Think they let me in to do a documentary? Hey, can't hurt to ask. Ask them. Pepe, what about the people who took their money knowing that in Latin America they did not want those brothers to rise, but so high? American police have never tampered with evidence. Okay, I know that's a joke. Exactly. They were 150 miles from any big city, though, so 125 acres in the middle of nothing. Okay. Eddie Thomas. Okay, David, I see we have David, and you'll tell me if you're from the group in a second. David, you ready? Turn your camera down a little bit so we can see, because I can't see. Okay, there you go. David, can you hear me?
Yes.
What's going on, brother? Are you in the group?
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. So thanks for joining, man.
Oh,
What do
no
you want to
problem.
say to us?
Oh, I just got on, so.
Okay.
Hello.
Where are you?
Columbus, Ohio.
Okay, you're in Columbus. Okay, we're
Yes.
talking about the brothers in Ecuador right now. Have you been following along?
Yes, I have.
Okay, what are your thoughts?
Oh my God, it's terrible. I can't believe the United States is not doing much more.
Mm-hmm.
Just unbelievable.
They have definitely dropped the ball. So, do you travel abroad?
Oh yes, a lot.
Like to what countries? Let me know so you can put my travel to shame. Let's see where you've been.
All of North Africa, few countries in Asia, all of Latin America, Central America. I work for Delta Airlines, so I fly a lot.
Oh, bet you may know my girl's son. He's a flight attendant for Delta.
Oh, okay.
What do you do for Delta?
Tick agent.
Okay, so you get to fly for free.
Yes, yes.
And you know what all buddy passes and all that is?
Yes.
Yeah, remember dcbornrob about that buddy pass?
Of course, of
I'm
course.
trying to get out of here now. You know I'm a Delta member, of course, now. Yeah, this right here is, it's a shame. And I don't know how long you've been watching me or if you're familiar with the Reed case that we dealt with earlier this year.
Yes, uh-huh.
But so a lot of people have said that are in the Colombian group and watch me in Colombia say that we should have had some type of organization. And we should have, I mean, I don't know how we do it. I'm not the one with the answers to all the answers to that or any answers really, except to call their reps. That's one answer I have right now. But, you know, I don't know what the answer is to get legal representation, but I do know this, that we need to stand up and we need to stand up together. The more people right now that call the senators, that write the congressmen, to send emails, the more change will be enacted. And did I cut you off on other places that you had traveled to?
No. You're good.
Well, so tell people why you travel. Now, you don't travel just because you work for Delta, or did you even start working for Delta because you want to travel?
Oh no, even before then. I graduated from Ohio State in international studies. So I always had a love for different cultures. My mom is Panamanian, and I grew up here in the States. And so I always have a love for that part of the country or the world.
Okay. Panama is one place I haven't been to, man. I interviewed, I don't know if you saw my interview, a couple of months ago, a young lady who lives there. Yeah, I gotta get down there. And shoot, I've sat in that airport enough. I feel like
it's beautiful.
It's a 12-hour layover in that airport. Every time you try to go to Medellin, you can go to Medellin through Panama, you will be there all day.
Yeah.
You're there at least for 12 hours. Well, let me hang on a second. You got a minute?
Yes.
Okay, hang on, David. Let's read a couple other ones here too. So, legally and unjustly caused, not by American standards of coercion. James Doe, who said that? This is obvious though, as they have photos of the indigenous people on the property digging up the bodies. How is it that evidence used against the brothers? It makes no sense. Well, that evidence could have proved them not guilty, but it was burned, so they could not use it. Obviously, if they were in this country, I could have got them off. They would have never gone to trial. It would have, because there's no evidence. Again, I read the entire judge's decision. There was no evidence. There is no evidence on them. There's not like blood. There's no, I mean, there is nothing. Okay. There is nothing. I read that and I stayed up late and I was like, man, I got to get through that. I wanted to give up, and I was like, I gotta 4 hours into this. I was like, and I got to the end and I was like, wait a minute, is this the end? Where's the evidence? There was no evidence. I'm telling you, there was no evidence. I want to see if I can actually share that. You guys need to know this. Let's see. Let me see. Yes. Stop running around looking at an ATM to rob. No one cares about your bling bling except the thieves. Do that. Yeah. Don't wear. I don't have to say that again, but don't wear your jewelry. I'm gonna mute you right quick, Dave. So what happened to the land? They still legally own the land. It says the indigenous just stole it. Who owns it? You know what? They did try to resell the land, and they've done this in a few different circumstances. We've been researching this. They tried to sell their land from under them. They brought this land from a Canadian. I spoke to him, by the way, also in the beginning when we were just doing due diligence. But they actually tried to sell the land from under them while they were in prison. But of course, they cannot. Indigenous Ecuadorians have a bad rap. Okay. Rico, I see Rico in there. He's got no mouth, no sound, and no pic. So let me know when you get in, or anybody else in the group that wants to join in. Just go into the group and you'll see the link right up front. I just posted it while I was on here. I'm gonna be on here for another 15 minutes, hopefully, because I'm going hoarse. I forgot to drink. Roja, Ronell's brother told you, wait a minute, don't see many indigenous. Let's click on that one. Okay, Eddie. Ronell's brother told you, dcbornrob, that the judge asked them, why did they come to Ecuador? Yes. They asked him, why are you even here? And that's from the judge. Okay, we are back. Kamala Harris in Vietnam. Okay, Luis. The brother's ambitions and dreams reminds me of the founder of Dell Foods Corporation. The founder of Dole. The founder of Dole Foods, James Dole, was able to set up shop in Hawaii before it even became the United States. Wow, didn't know that. So the brother have a right to succeed towards their ambitions, even if it means finding success in Ecuador. Exactly. That was just their dream. So they did it. Jason says, still fighting for them. Ailzone says, sort of don't say, I believe they still have land, but the improvements and buildings were destroyed and looted, and the animals were killed. The crops were either stolen or burned. Yeah, it was bad. Still bad. Here comes the American imprisonment, colonial talk from the Imam. Okay, Ailzone. Okay, thanks. Yes, need the help. American is doing way too much for their own interest, nothing for its own people, and nothing for any other country abroad. Okay, please hit the like on your way in. That's from me. I did not know that. Okay, and his first name is Bob Menendez. Yes, absolutely. Bob Menendez is the chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. He's got more power than the House does. Okay, stop sharing wars with countries with Americans could be affected. Okay, I will call the Jersey office. Yeah, call them. Yes, his first name is Bob. Yes. Stay safe out there. We are trying. Everyone stay safe out there. If you're traveling, continue to travel, but stay safe. I'm going to try to get through these last ones. If you're here, do me a favor again, hit like on your way in. You can close this chat box, hit like, and then open the chat box up again. You'll be right back where you were. I would greatly appreciate that. Hang on a second. What happened? Is that you, David, that asked that? Hang on. You there? Say again, David?
Yeah. What happened to his girlfriend? He had a girlfriend or fiance from Ecuador there. I mean, did she try to help him, or she just like disappeared? I haven't heard anything.
No, she's there. I think they try not to put the focus on her. They are actually married now, and they have a child, and she visits him.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're still together, and there are a couple of people from the other side who lied on the stand, disappeared, or moved. Two of which are in the U.S. and one, the girlfriend of one of the deceased, disappeared. No one can find her. She even stopped being friends on certain people there, not the brothers, but other people. She wanted to get herself out of that. So. Yeah, anybody else in the group that wants to join, or if you are in the group and you're watching this, jump in, get the link, and then click in right now. I'm going to try to get through these again. Okay, that's not a representation of most Black men that travel. Can you StreamYard? I'm not sure what you mean. This is StreamYard. Please send the link to StreamYard so we can get in and participate. Right now, I am just doing it for group members. Check how many bars and clubs have been targeted because U.S. military personnel. Okay, I lost you again. David, let me mute you out. Mike, where's the link to StreamYard? That's not all of us. I never had any problems traveling. Exactly. I haven't either, really, except being in Paris and putting my card in the ATM machine. The money didn't come out. I snapped. And they about some rude people anyway. When you think Americans are rude, go to Paris. I don't tell anyone I'm from the USA. Ashamed of what the country and the government has done. And yeah, for my personal safety. I want to get your StreamYard to talk. CM, are you in the group? Another walking. What? Okay. CIA has a poor record with black people. Politicians talk more than anything. I agree. DMR says, I'm from Wilmington, Delaware. You're right, Imam. It was segregated here. No disrespect, but it's obvious. From Malika. Okay, ASAP. He got out. ASAP Rocky. Yep. And I'm scanning through because I'm skipping. I got to get through. Obviously, I'm in the hole on some of these right now, and I may not get to all of these, it looks like. ASAP went to jail. Okay, Jason Brown. Speaking as the son of Booker T, I will be happy to sit with you and discuss our country and affairs abroad. Okay, wanted community control. Let's see, I'm scrolling through, and you've probably already seen these. Belton Downey Daisy says, it would be a pleasure to see Imam Alfred again. Great conversation. Thank you. Yeah, we gotta have him on. We're gonna work on his camera, make sure it gets a little bit clear, and tilt it a little bit. We're gonna get things together. But yeah, when it comes to politics and so on, especially regarding this case and any others for travelers, I'd be interested in picking his brain. Absolutely. That's all the U.S. has abroad, illegitimate affairs. Okay. Okay, bye, Malika. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming on. Hand clap from AO Zone to the Imam. Okay. Karen says, when are these brothers coming home? I hope soon. We need to do as much as we can, though, to get them, to have them freed. We have to reach out to their representatives. We're going to give more details on exactly what the ask is that we're searching for. But right now, you need to know that they're in a bad place. They're in a bad, the prison is bad, not only being bad, but they're also in danger because of their health. Okay. I mean, there's not good running water. There's parasites. They're dealing with a lot of things that a lot of people, you wouldn't think offhand. It's not just being in prison. It's just dangerous. We need to, if nothing else, move them to another prison while we go through the revision process. Didn't prisoners use smuggled cell phones to show coronavirus conditions? I don't know. I don't know about there. I don't know. I called their congressman office, but since I don't have that zip code, I believe my call wasn't taken seriously. Try to get to their caseworker. Somebody is working this case. At least you got through to somebody. If you go through the website and you try to get an email, they try to, what's your zip code? That way they're sure that you live there. Put in a zip code of where they live in Maryland, and you're going to come up with it. It's David Trone is their congressman's name. David? Dennis. David. Okay. Sorry about the loss of the viewer. Wait, the dude with the cowboy hat? What? Missing some things here. Okay. He said, traveling past my channel. Let's see. We will. I pray for these brothers and others. Make it back safely. Peace and blessings. Thank you so much. Prayers, number one. Andre ASD Doc says, the second I get my passport renewed, I'm immediately booking my flights. Wait a minute. I thought you was just in Mexico. You need, guys, check out the interview by ASD Docs. I'll make sure that's in the description of this video if I don't fall asleep once I get off here. Thank you so much, Andre, for taking the time to do that interview. I actually learned something from the interview. Every time we get to have a full-on conversation with the brothers, we learn more about the case of something we didn't know, and we just slot that and compile that and add it to the list. Let's see. Nothing much American golf, sacred, going, Cubs morning. Okay. I love traveling at dcbornrob. Have you been to Costa Rica? Absolutely, I've been to Costa Rica. San Juan. Ooh, me and my girl go, what's the best view? What's the best hotel? Best view? We got there. We landed in at San Jose, Costa Rica airport. And this is the first time we thought we were getting kidnapped. So we had a Uber, and he was through back road speed. And it was like, we looked at each other like, uh-oh. Where's my ink pen? I always carry an ink pen. You can't take a weapon with you, but you can take an ink pen. Though I got to stab him in the neck. But he ended up getting us there on the side of this mountain. We couldn't see anything because it was 2 o'clock in the morning. When the sun came up, I had to show a video from that trip. Oh my God. Yeah. So yeah, I've been to Costa Rica. Love it. Love it. And we went to the volcano and all that good stuff, the Blue Lagoon. Interesting movie. Wild, Wild Country. Indian guru sets up commune city in the U.S. built by American. Gets forced back to India. I got to look that one up. Wild, Wild Country. Okay. Docs, Andre says that's interesting theory, explaining how the USA government is defined in a Ponzi scheme. Yeah. It's by definition a Ponzi scheme. Oh, we're broke. Look at Social Security. Don't get me started. Protect the citizens. Absolutely. In and out of the country. Yes, he needs to get in the cancer hospital, whether it is Johns Hopkins or here, of course, we have some of the best hospitals. MD Anderson by name. Okay, we will. Jay says, where do we ask questions? You ask questions right here, and I will read them. Okay, and I'm getting ready to jump out of here any minute. Let me see how many I can squeeze in. We will live there for 1.6 years. Loved it. Okay, when it's over, the brothers need a movie deal. Oh, you believe it, man. There's more, because there's more that's not put out. It's straight crazy. I mean, both them and the Reed case, there needs to be some sort of documentary on it. Okay, if you are joining the group, these people. Let me see. Okay, I meant the loss of Chief. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I knew he was an older gentleman, but I didn't expect that. You said Chief passed away. Was he the brother that used to wear cowboy hats? I don't know, because I remember somebody else in Sweet Georgia used to wear cowboy hats. I never saw him when he was there. He moved down about a month and a half ago. He lived there just over a month, if I'm not mistaken. Really nice guy. Talked to him on the phone a lot. Just wasn't, savvy. So I helped him work his way down there and told him, number one, get yourself to Sweet Georgia Cafe. By the way, make sure you get to Sweet Georgia Cafe. And if you're not sure why, let me show you.
Welcome to Sweet Georgia. I'm Rob Lester. This is my spot, Sweet Georgia Breakfast Sports Bar and Grill. Come check us out every Thursday night for the swimsuit contest along with Monday Night Football. And on Wednesday nights, we got jazz. Sunday, we rocking football all day. And hey, we got the best and only soul food and American breakfast in Medellin, Colombia. It all started right here 4 years ago. Come holler at your boy. We all home. This hour.
que les quiera y les guste. Bienvenidos mis amores a Colombia, vamos.
So this is our guest. VIP at the party is gonna be a well buffet. Okay, so get your class from me when you get in free.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there, but you get the gist of what's going on there. She got to spend his last month in that environment, and he probably wasn't out there late at night. I'm going to guess that he cut out a little bit earlier. May have stuck. I'd stick around for that, or live music. I'd stick around. But let me show you a word from the brothers from a little while ago.
Hi, my name is Roja Stephenson, and this is my brother Ronell Stephenson. The last 4 years of our life have been a complete nightmare. We are in an Ecuadorian prison, sentenced to 34 years, 8 months, for a murder of a dear friend that we did not commit. We beg you to please, please share this video. Without your help, we cannot come home. Please share this video.
And I know all my good people are going to share this video. And for everybody who takes a second to share this video,
Cool man said, you all right.
now I'm asking you, will you do this for me?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes. Oh, of course. Of course. I think we all agree. Yes. Positively. Yes. We all are going to say yes, 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 yes.
So much appreciated for everybody who takes a second and reaches out. Let me get through the last few and I'm going to end it here. Logan says, from this incident, and there, Mr. Reeves, ultimately death. I hope that this is a learning experience to all of us to stay safe and how to be more cautious when traveling. Yes. Be aware of your surroundings. I mean, everybody says keep your head on a swivel, but hopefully my videos are of some benefit. If so, subscribe to my videos. If you think that I'm not covering something that I should, let me know. Travel related, of course. Yeah, I watched the brother's interview with the Real Guilty TV too. You learn more with each interview. Okay. I would like to visit these countries. Yeah, it's nothing like, good food. Believe that. Believe that. So I am going to end it here. Thank you so much for everybody who has jumped on. Much appreciated. Make sure when you get to Sweet Georgia Cafe and you need to ride you get to Sweet Georgia Cafe when you get to Medellin. When you land at the airport, you need to ride. You reach out to Andres, my man Andres, or any guide or any tours down there. You reach out to him. You need dental work. You stop by and see my dentist, Carlos. Hopefully, I'll be down there soon enough to get these taken care of a little bit. It's just that time to check up. It's been a couple of years since I've been there. So appreciate all you guys for jumping in. All of your comments, much appreciated. Please do what you can to reach out on behalf of the brothers. Much, much, much appreciated. So be safe.